Alright, sorry about that. Well, I'm going to move that package off the table for that reason. And we'll continue to go through the goodies. So this is something that came with the Commodore from the person I bought it from. Their first name is Peter. And it came with, let's see if you can read that, Peter's Games. Comes with a bunch of games on floppy disk. Bomb Jack, BMX Simulator, Blasteroids, Chucky Egg, Bubble Bobble, Boogaboo the Flea, Chinese Juggler, CG in the USA, Comic Bakery, Colossus Chess 4, Curse of Sherwood, Dan Dare Pilot of the Future, and Decathlon. I'm really excited to play Dan Dare. I used to play that as a kid and had no idea what I was doing, so that'll be good to get to. Projects. Sort of. La! This is just one that's already done. It's a Wizard of War cartridge game for the Commodore. But these will be the projects. So this is an S-video and audio. Let's see if I can get a good shot of this on the camera. Maybe if I stand up. Focus. Focus. Will you focus? Focus. Doesn't want to focus. See if I can get it to manually focus. There we go. So yeah, that's a little AV modification board. So that goes in the little Commodore bread bin where the RF modulator is currently, and gives us AV out and also gives us S-video out. So this is something that I need to build. I've got all the components coming. This is an alternative for that. I'm not using that one. This one is, I forget. I forget what that one is. And I forget what this one is. But this one's, I got all the components coming. I'll remember when I'm building them. This one's the fun one. See if I can hold that a little bit closer and see if you can get a good shot of it. Whoop, whoop. Doesn't like to focus, does it? This is what the Raspberry Pi for. It is a Pi 15410 and Epix Fast Load. So the cool thing with this is it essentially works as a cartridge that you slot into the Commodore 64. It runs off a Raspberry Pi, or part of it runs off a Raspberry Pi. It's an Epix Fast Loader, which pretty much does what it says on the box. It gives access to some more resources to the Commodore. That's probably the basic explanation of it. And then it's got a Raspberry Pi on there that emulates the 1541 floppy drive, which means there's a little SD card that will go, I think it's the SD card that goes in the Pi itself is the one we use. And it will run cycle correct, allegedly, for a 1541 floppy drive. So you can just load all of your Commodore 64 ROMs and they will all run off this. Because it's got the Epix Fast Loader, and the way the Epix Fast Loader works on this is it's cycle for cycle as well. It's not just a software emulation kind of thing. It should have the best compatibility of all of these kind of SD loaders for the Commodore. So we've got those projects to build. Now I'm going to start putting some stuff back in the box, and then I'll show you one other thing and tell you one other thing about two things that are coming. And then we'll get on to opening up the Commodore. There. Alright. I'll just bring the Commodore back up here. I'll open this up in a moment. So I've got two other really cool retro things coming. I'm going to show you one thing and then I'm going to tell you another thing. And I will leave it up to your interest to see if you can work out what it is that's coming. I'm going to need this screwdriver in a moment anyway. ahead for the moment. So this is going to be a little bit hard to work out, but this should be the first thing that arrives and I'll be able to get functioning. This is just a power supply. It's a switching power supply. It outputs up to 1.5 amp. I'll only need 1.25 amp. And the unit that it's for, oh, that doesn't like turning. Alright, I'm going to need the full handle. The unit that it's for is a... Where is my screwdriver bit? Hang on just one moment. I've only got part of my goodies here. Where is the actual screwdriver? There it is. So the unit it's for is coming from somewhere that doesn't use 240 volts, which is why I needed this. The unit runs 1.25 amps. It has a 7.6 volt power supply. It's not the usual type of what it is. The usual type of what it is runs a 10 volt power supply, which you should not run on it. I've got this because it's multi-switching. I've set it to 7.5 volts. It's positive center. It'll take one of these barrel connectors as power. And that's what'll run it. What else can I tell you to try and give you a hint as to what it might be without giving it away? Takes both cartridges and floppy disks. That'll do. That's enough information. I'll leave that with you. And the other thing that I've got coming on the way is not a system, but a component for a system that I don't have yet, but want to get soon. I've ordered a Terrible Fire. Now, if you know what a Terrible Fire is, then you know maybe what type of thing I'm getting, but maybe not necessarily which one, because I didn't tell you which Terrible Fire I'm getting. There is a lot of different Terrible Fires. Anyway, that's all my news stuff. Let's crack this open. So, yeah, Commodore 64, they came out in, what, like 80... Was it 79 they came out? When did they come out? I'm going to Google it out of interest. I'll get some information and I can, that'll also help me point out some of the components on the board. See if I can get a Commodore 64. Here we go. There's a layout. Does that give me information? Sort of. That's alright. Once I've got it open, I'll see if I can point some stuff out. As to the what. Alright. My head screwdriver. Oh no, Phillips head screwdriver. I'm going to be ever so careful with all of this. I believe it's been opened once already by the person that I bought it from. They, I believe, do all sorts of repairs and stuff. Maybe. There might be another screw under there, I don't know. I don't feel like there'd be only 3 screws. There must be screws under these feet or something. Let's look it up before I break anything. Dax Jackson! Dax Jackson! How's it going, dude? Let me give you a shout out. It's great to be back. I haven't been streaming in far too long. Dax Jackson, clickety buttons. Check out Dexter playing Phantom Battler. What's Phantom Battler? I've never heard of Phantom Battler before. Tell me all about it while I look up where all of the screws hole are here, because I don't want to mess anything up. So I've got these. Yep, those three. And then pull up on the case towards me. Dum dum dum. Nice. Let's unplug that. Let's unplug this. Does this just unplug? Is this just on the header? Yes. Carefully. Ever so carefully. Alright. That's our keyboard and the LED. It's going well. What are you working on? Dude, I am working on a Commodore 64! Ah! I'm just doing a clean of it at the moment. Do I need to undo that? What is that? That's the shift button. We'll undo all these things anyway and find out. It's a PS1 style creepy puzzle game. Nice. Let's see if I can just get some more information regarding opening up the Commodore 64 because I don't want to damage anything, and then we'll have a look at the circuit board. Let's see, what's Commodore 64 opening the case. Yep. I want to see if there's any other information just to help me, because I do not want to damage anything. I haven't cracked one of these open before, so it's all new. Alright, I should be able to just take out the keyboard as one whole unit at ledges. It's like an adventure game, use key on door style gameplay. Okay. Also love that you're working on a C64. Yeah, dude, I grew up with a C64. It is... Oh, that's the other thing. These posts have a habit of breaking. Hence why I'm trying to be very careful. I grew up playing games on a C64. It was the first games that I played were all Commodore 64 games. I have a lot of love for this system. I'm not turning it on until I get... But they notoriously have bad power supplies. There's so much love for the system out there. There's a company that makes aftermarket power supplies for them. So I've got one of them on order, amongst other things. But yeah, the other two things. Did you hear me talk about the two things that are coming? See if you can puzzle out what they are that are coming. There's only hints available. You can do some Googling. I will announce them when they get here. And I will stream about them again. And I will stream modifying them! It's gonna be so good! Yeah, so the first thing, I have a product coming called the Terrible Fire. Now there's a lot of different Terrible Fires. I'm not going to tell you which Terrible Fire I've got coming, but I've got a Terrible Fire coming. So that's one thing, and that relates to a machine of some kind. You could do some Googling and it might give you some hints as to what it is that I don't have, but I'm ordering parts for already because I'm a lunatic. And the other thing, we can just pick up that screw before I get distracted. The other thing I mentioned, I already have part for it, which is this power supply. And I have this power supply because I bought it from, it was not an item that was ever released in Australia. So I needed an Australian plug that'll run on 240 or 220 volts. It requires, well, the standard power supply is 7.6 volts, but unregulated, whereas this is a regulated power supply, so I can run it at 7.5 volts. The unit in question draws 1.25 amps of power, has positive center barrel plug, and it has both a floppy drive and cartridge slot on it. Those are all the hints you're getting. So if you can guess either of those, you, I don't know, are good. Yeah. Alright. The case itself looks pretty good. It doesn't look like it's, you know, it looks a little bit yellow because the video is very red. Because I don't have any other extra lighting at the moment set up. The keyboard doesn't look too... oh, excuse me. Doesn't look too bad. I should be able to just get a little...
What if I like... Is it helping?
There we are.
Am I helping?
That's what I want? Yeah. What are you trying to do? Oh, to get more light on it.
It's not helping.
I'll give this a good clean up. Make it nice and shiny. Have you got any guesses for either of the things? Now I'm going to use, how am I going to do this? I'm going to put a bit of isopropyl alcohol in here. It's not really the way to do it, that's okay. See if I can get these keys nice and clean. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That looks less yellow than before.
Oh, you're scrubbing its teeth. Scrub.
Yeah, that's working quite well. I'm happy with that. Yeah, look at that, eh? Scrubber. That looks nice and white now. Scrubber. So this is going to be part of it, is just me scrubbing a keyboard. I hope you enjoy.
Delightful. And to add to the monotonous tasks, I am chopping down trees.
Yeah. Neither of us are doing anything very interesting. Scrub it over. Do you have any guesses, Dax? I'm waiting. You're the retro machine knowledgeable person, maybe, sort of. I don't know. I've seen you do retro things. Also, I had to change where I was getting my stream music from because although it was listed as copyright free, I got a bunch of copyright strikes. How dare they? From them. It's apparently there's a lot of people complaining about it. So this is not lo-fi music. This is from a channel called Free Music. Craziest and Brainstorm, no copyright, 8-bit music. And that's where our music is from at the moment. I want to get this nice and clean and shiny. Every single key. Gerard, you've made it! You're here for me the cleaning the keyboard part of this project. Kittens is here as well. How's it going, Gerard? How are you? It's good to see you. I'm very glad to be back in streaming. So happy. We've got the Commodore open. And just giving it a good, giving the keyboard at this point a good scrub. You can see some of those keys like K and L are pretty dirty. They're coming out really nice now. Brings back to younger days. Yeah, man. Although I would have thought you're slightly younger, if we're honest, for the Commodore 64. I grew up with one. And I've got a couple of years on you. Don't pretend that you're 70.
He is.
He's not 70.
He is.
He's not 70. He's not 70 or 7, it's changing again.
7? Definitely not 7.
Acts like he's 7. Give that Commodore button a good scrub. All that coming up perfect. ISO. Yeah. ISO water. Yeah. Isopropyl. I would not. If I wanted to, you can clean this with water. If I wanted to like take out all the electricals, pop all the keycaps off, you can then separate these parts and scrub it with water. I don't think it's necessary. I think isopropyl's doing just fine. The keys that are all gunky are coming up really nice, so I think it's fine. Like if we have a look at shift, I don't know if you can really see that well. You can see shift is a lot darker. It's a lot worse in person, but give that a good scrub. I don't know if you can really see the difference, but it looks a lot clearer now. ISO is safer. It's safer like whilst I've got all the electrical components connected. Like if I really wanted to go crazy, I could crack out the soldering iron, desolder the keyboard, and give these keys a scrub in water with some really good dish soap. But there's a couple of reasons why I don't want to do that.
Can't be bothered.
No, well, so Commodore keyboards are notorious for breaking when you pop the keycaps off. So that's probably the bigger reason. The little plastic things under there that it goes onto is very delicate, or well, let's say quite delicate. Let's not say very delicate. Let's say quite delicate. Alright, let's put this back in here. And then we'll start having a look at the circuit board. Yeah, so, and like, I was even worried about taking this off because these like little standoffs, they have a habit of snapping as well on the Commodore. So it's just like touching a Commodore to try and clean stuff up is just a dangerous time all around. Like, yeah. So let's start the screw and then we'll work them all down. Because again, I don't want to crank down on these standoffs. That one's pretty happy going quite softly. I don't want to crank down on these standoffs and snap something. That will be a sad time. And it also means I can make sure I've got the keyboard nice and centered as I screw it all down. I think. Yep. Notice. There we go. But yeah, I've got a AV output modification for this, so that'll be done once all the components arrive. Oh, you'll appreciate this discovery, Gerard. So for the various projects that I've got, both for the Commodore and for the other units that I've got coming, I've ordered all the components that I need, or at least all the components I think I need. And found out that, like, for one of them, for example, I need 3 through-hole resistors. Because of shipping, it's cheaper to order 2,500 through-hole resistors of varying resistance. So, and same thing with capacitors. So I think I've got enough components for a lot of the jobs a lot of the projects that I want to do.
I would hope so. In fact, I would be quite annoyed if you don't.
Well, I mean, the thing that's going to be a risk is, like, for example, like a 1 kilo ohm resistor is like one of the most common ones that you need.
Yeah.
And although I've got 2,500 there and another, I think 4,000 surface mounted ones coming, there's only like 10 or 20 of each. So like, if I need more 1 kilo ohm resistors, I'm gonna run out. That's right, I have a solution for that. Alright, that's the keyboard done already. I'm pretty happy with that. That looks, a bit of fluff came out there. That looks a lot better than it was, that's for sure. It's not perfect. Nice. Alright, let's put that down and out of the way. Let's have a look at our circuit board. I'm just going to have a little bit of a squizzy whiz today. Have some coffee. So, how small is that fuse? Okay, a little fuse on there. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit and give you guys a bit of a better look. I can move this around. There we go. And will that focus? Alright, let's have a look and see if we can work out what revision of board we have. I think it's this, is it this number down here? 250425, is that my board revision number? Let's have a look, see if there's anything else here. I'll look up what the different board revision numbers are and we'll see. Oh yeah, 250425. Oh, so what have I got? PCB assembly number 250425. Does that mean this is a 469? Let's see, identifying C64 board revisions. Um, 1982. How do I know? 250407. 250425. 1984. So this is a 1984 board. That checks out. 1984. Over there. This board is very common. This is from DeFark, website called DeFark. This board is very common. Commodore sometimes referred to this as the 64B. The board is more integrated and cost reduced than previous boards. Most visible difference is that the VIC-2 isn't in a metal can anymore. I'll bring up a picture and see if I can find where the VIC-2 is. I might be able to do it by a visible sight. The VIC-2 is the processor. Or a processor. Notably, the PLA switched spots with the SID. The PLA is now by the VIC-2. The SID is by the serial port. Oh, I should probably... That'd be the SID then, right? No, that's a MOS. Hang on. We'll go through, see if we can work out what's what. This board is desirable because of its excellent video output quality. Excellent. Blah, 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 if you're swapping parts between multiple boards, pay attention to the whips. Yeah, okay, so you don't blow up a SID. The video quality admittedly has more to do with the VIC-2 chips in production at the time than it does with the board. If someone swapped an earlier chip into one of these boards, the video quality would degrade, and yes, it happens. Dealer could have swapped the chip in the 80s as part of a repair, because the older chip was all they had. Even more likely, a previous owner could have combined parts from multiple broken units to get one good unit. To get the best experience out of this board, look at the 4-digit date code on the VIC-2 chip near the center of the board. If the date code ends in 82 or 83, it's a mismatch. Ooh, okay. I think that's my VIC-2 chip. Oh, hang on. I think that's my VIC-2 chip right there. And it ends in 86.
Good or bad?
Good, I think. Can't really see the labeling on there. Let's see if I do this. Oh, I'm gonna get my hands dirty. Alright, hold on. does that for you. Now you can read stuff.
Ooh.
So I think
Is that your greasy fingerprints?
no. No, it's just like scuffing. My fingers are not that greasy. Anyway. Look, leave me alone.
No!
I think
We'll spend all our money if I leave you alone.
hang on, let's see if I can get a layout for the board so I can say what's what. Revision A, revision B. Can I tell? Let's see. Bum. No, that doesn't tell me where everything is. What is this one? The 6569 is the Vic 2. Allegedly? No? Unless it's under there. That might be 2 under here. Oh, I can't see. Wait, didn't it say that they don't have a metal shield on this thing?
I think so.
Yeah. That's interesting. I do have a metal shield. So I can't see what my... So my Vic 2 chip is actually under here. It's underneath here, and I don't want to bend this out of shape. But I do want to see what I have. Can I? Hum. Hum ho hum ho. There's a screw missing. Screw missing. Alright, so that's really interesting then. Because it said... I wonder if the version A... Not the version A... Really interesting. It says that my revision of board should not have this metal cover.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Everyone else is probably like, it's just a chunk of metal, who cares? But it's like, that's significant, right? Like, I don't know. Let's see. The MPU, which is over here, I think. So 6510 is what you normally get on a long board, but this one's an 8500, which is a 1985. Very interesting, I think, anyway.
I think it's just important that somebody thinks it's interesting.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's try to see, what does this say about it? Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, so my big 2 chips under there, along with something else. What else should be under there? I think maybe. I want to see. I want to see where everything is supposed to be. What is this? Vic2. That's under there. Ah, that'll be my SRAM that's under there as well. The processor, as we said, is an 8500, which is that one there. And we should have some ROM. Those 3 chips, maybe? One's a 1983 and 2 are a 1982. DRAM, keyboard matrix. Yeah, okay. 6526. What is that? What is a 6526? I'm looking here. The SID is a 6581 or an 8580. 6580. What was it? The SID is the sound chip, by the way, for anyone interested. 6581 or an 8580. Oh right, there's my SID chip. Back over there. I've got a 6581, which I believe is the more sought after chip. The 8580 sounds a little bit different, which that makes sense for this board. Like the 8580 I think was in the Commodore 128. Yeah. So the S-Video board that I showed you earlier, that replaces this. This is the RF modulator. So that will get desoldered, and once we've built that little board, it'll get soldered in here. But for the most part, this is a very clean board. There's really not much else to say about it. I'm glad it's got the 8500. I don't know what the different thing is in here. The VIC2 would either be a 6569 or an 8565, but I can't tell without desoldering this metal shield. I don't think it's screwed in. No, it looks like it's soldered in. Well, I suppose that's a thing of, you know, if I do decide to run some heat sinks on it, I could take that off. But yeah, that's in really good condition. There's nothing there that stands out to me as like a thing to worry about. I think I was told that the diagnostic ROM on the diagnostic, not ROM, the diagnostic oh, I can't look it up that way. Cartridge, when it was plugged into this, did say that something wasn't responding correctly, but everything worked. So there could be just a bad solder join somewhere. So when we go through modifying it, I'll work out what chip that is, and I'll just give all the legs a once over with the soldering gun and a little bit of solder and flux. But cool. Let's put this back together. Back up. Let's zoom back out first. And bring it back up to about there-ish. Cool. And we'll just reassemble this. Just a matter of putting the case back on. That's all we were really looking at today. I know it's not a lot. Let's, I should have paid attention to which way around this plug was. What's that? this away. And the keyboard throws that away, but we'll have to start bringing this stuff around. Then we'll plug the keyboard back in. I don't want to bend any pins accidentally. There we are. Let's lower this down. And flippy dibby. Put our 3 screws back in. That's it, that's the Commodore 64 that I got. I'm excited for when all the components arrive and I can start doing all the projects on this. But we'll have to wait for those. AliExpress will bring them. And then we can play some Commodore 64 games on real hardware. Capture it straight to the capture machine, hopefully. Nice. But anyway, just a short stream today. That's all we're doing today. I was just looking at the Commodore. I don't want to, because I haven't been streaming for a while, I don't want to tax myself and do a full 3-hour stream and then be burnt out or anything like that. So, yeah, when everything starts arriving, we'll start building stuff. We'll pull this apart. We'll put S-video output in it, and yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good fun. Anyway, thanks for those of you that hopped in. I know it was a short stream, but I appreciate it. And where's my mouse? And I'll catch you all next time. I'll just quickly see if I can find someone to raid, actually, before I disappear. Who is about? Sonneveld's on. So yeah, we'll raid over to Sonneveld. Sonneveld does some really cool stuff with old DOS games. But thanks for hopping in. Really appreciate it. Please hang around and say hi to Sonneveld from me. That would be really good if you could. And I'll catch you all next time. I'm going to try and be streaming a bit more. Play some games maybe next time. We'll see. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Walking funny and his clothes were all covered in blood. Nothing suspicious here. Lieutenant, Captain was dead. We all knew that. Brady's hyphen. You know Randy's hyphen. Let me give you a shout out. What are we playing? Let me try this new fancy shout out command. I don't know how to use. There you go, seems great. Last playing, hiding out the Commodore 64 and looking at some other goodies featuring Kittens on the what can we? How's the Commodore 64?
Oh, goodness. Okay, very good.
We had someone in the chat